they were way undervalued at $15.91. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing. And today I want to talk to you about CleanSpark, ticker CLSK. And I will tell you, I am fired up today about the price action on CleanSpark based on their quarterly report that they just issued. I think everybody missed the big picture here. People are focusing on the wrong numbers. I would like to show you what, in my opinion, are the right numbers. And so what I want to do is go through the quarterly earnings report, talk about some key numbers. Yes, we'll talk about management compensation. I want to talk about, most importantly, growth. And then I want to go to the chart and talk stock price. I feel like the news focused on officer compensation. Let's look at quarter two and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Okay, CleanSpark Inc. reports financial results for its third quarter ended June 30th, 2021. So just as a point of reference for the rest of this video, CleanSpark's financial year end will be September 30th, 2021, which is just about a month and a half away from now. The 9-month revenue increased 176% to $22.3 million year over year, so from the same period last year. The 3-month revenue increased 250% to $11.9 million from 1 year ago quarter. $11.9 million is the most revenue they've ever had in a quarter. Some people were disappointed with that number, but when you see what's coming and put it into perspective, these growth numbers are absolutely out of this world. I just want to hit a few of the highlights. I'm not going to go too deeply into this quarterly report because what I really want to get onto is show you what the big fuss was about today, and I want to show you where this company's going. This stock was down 20% in the morning. I think it closed down 15%. Today is August 18th, so I'm referring to yesterday, August 17th, 2021. CleanSpark's price basically crashed on this earnings report, which is mystifying to me. So here they reiterate all the revenue numbers we just talked about. I'm not going to go through net income, net loss. We'll do that on a big picture later. I will tell you, this is a very early stage growth company. At this time in a company's life cycle, what they are focused on is growth. So they need revenue. There's several one-time, non-reoccurring events that occurred in this quarter that made them look not profitable. If you look at this on a micro scale and just look at this one quarter, you could get upset. But if you extrapolate these numbers out going forward, this is pretty incredible stuff. Operational highlights, quarter ended June 30th, 2021. Current hash rate capacity now exceeds 820 petahash per second, which is nearly double the capacity just 46 days ago. That is only just the beginning. We're going to talk about where they go from here. The company anticipates achieving a 1.0 exahash production capacity within the coming month, which is this month, August. So they estimate at 1 exahash, they'll be mining approximately 8 to 9 Bitcoin per day. So later in this paragraph, they summarize including all of their existing machines that are operating and all of the machines that they have purchase ordered. They say, for perspective, at current difficulty rates, if the full 3.4 exahash, so they're going to be at 3.4 exahash. If the 3.4 exahash of capacity were in place today, it would result in 26 to 28 Bitcoin per day. This capacity, in turn, would result in $1.2 to $1.3 million a day in revenue, or $446 million to $480 million of annualized revenue. We're talking about them doing the better part of $500 million in revenue, once their machines are up and running, with basically within a year from now. So let's real quick take a look at the other number that apparently is making everybody crazy today, and that is management's compensation. So I'm just going to read from their 10Q, which included non-recurring executive compensation of $4.7 million and employee stock-based compensation of approximately $3.1 million. So that's almost $8 million in additional compensation. So obviously, as a result of that, being at the growth stage that they're at right now, they only had just under $12 million in revenue. So people looked at this and said, $12 million in revenue, $8 million in bonuses. And everybody freaked out. So I understand. So I don't even think it's worth arguing whether or not they were justified in taking this. You know, a lot of people are saying they're greedy and they don't care about their shareholders. I'm focused on management's performance. So when we look at the numbers, you will see the performance here is outstanding. Okay, this is CleanSpark's September 30th, 2020 10K that they filed with the SEC. This is their annual report for last year. And I just want to focus on a few numbers. Total revenue was $10,028,701 for the year last year. The year prior to that, total revenue was $4,532,782. So they went from about $4.5 million in 2019 to $10 million in 2020. Now, cost of sales went from $3.8 million to $7.9 million. That leaves gross profit in 2019 of $671,000 and a gross profit in 2020 of approximately $2 million. So I have created a spreadsheet to try to put these numbers into perspective. So we're going to look at the historical numbers from their 10K filings to the SEC for the last few years to their 10Q filing that they just did, and then we're going to do some projections out into the future to see what things look like. As of the year ended September 30th, 2019, this company had revenue of about $4.5 million and gross profit of about $671,000. So very, very small numbers. That's a 15% gross profit margin. They were really just getting going. As of the 12 months ended September 30th, 2020, which was last year's results, they had approximately $10 million in revenue and gross profit of about $2.1 million. That's a 21% gross profit. So that's 121% growth on revenue year over year from 2019 to 2020. So that's very healthy growth, but still, this is a tiny company at this point. You're talking about $4.5 million and $10 million of revenue. So now I've added into the picture, we just got the third quarter results. So I've added into the picture the 9 months ended June 30th, 2021. So through 9 months in 2021, they are already at $22 million and a gross profit of $15.5 million. That's more gross profit than they had revenue last year. And their gross profit percent has now gone from 21% last year to 70% this year. Just the 3 quarters of this year represent 122% growth over the entire year from last year. And remember, last year they had a 121% growth year over year from 2019. Okay, now you'll see for the year ended September 30th, 2021, which again is next month. So this is year over year compared to last year. Last year they did approximately $10 million in revenue. It looks to me like they're going to do approximately $42 million in revenue this year. The analysts have a number that's a little bit higher than that. It probably will be a little bit higher than that, but that's fine. At their 70% gross profit rate that they're now operating at, that's $29 million of gross profit for the year 2021. And that is a 320% increase in revenue year over year from last year to this year. These are the numbers that I believe people should be focusing on. This is what is happening. We're 45 days away from that being done. So that's what we're going to be talking about in next quarter's results. So remember, they talked about by next September, they're going to have computing power in place to be at a run rate close to $500 million. So I'm using $200 million for the purposes of this example. It's likely to be significantly more than that. And the year 2023, they probably will be targeting at least $500 million of revenue. The 2022 numbers, that represents a 375% growth rate over the year 2021. The year 2021 had a 320% estimated growth rate over the year 2020. So with those kind of numbers, this is quite literally one of the fastest growing companies in the entire stock market. And most of these numbers are actuals, and these estimates are very realistic, and they're in line with what analysts are estimating. They will have gone from a company that had less than $5 million in revenue to a company that in 2023 could have more than $500 million in revenue. I defy you to find me any other companies in the stock market that are going to have that kind of performance in that window of time. This is not just a growth company, it's a massive growth company. So what I want to point out something important. On this date, December 10th, 2020, that was their initial entrance into the world of Bitcoin mining. Please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. So prior to that, the valuation of this stock was based on their existing business model, which still exists and is thriving. I guess my point would be, prior to Bitcoin even existing in CleanSpark's world, this was a $10 or $11 stock. If we zoom into today, you'll see that that closed at $11.67. So either the entire Bitcoin portion of their company is being valued at zero, or they're completely ignoring and valuing at zero their main business. So you can see just a week ago here, they were at almost $16. So they've gone from, $15.91 to $11.67 over the last week and a half, let's say. I don't understand what's happened in the last week and a half that would change the value of this company down in that manner. And by the way, in my opinion, they were way undervalued at $15.91. If you look at this chart, you'll see that back on February 19th, they were over $40. So from their high in February to their trading today, they're down over 70%, the price of their stock. So to me, the price of this stock doesn't make sense any way that you look at it. So I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just showing you my perspective on the actual numbers here and the reasonable estimates versus the price of this stock and the market cap of this company. You guys can decide for yourself what it all means. Those are my thoughts on CleanSpark. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.